So we get to read about Sombra and the Hulk having a baby. This is rated M.
A sweet babby.
This is rated M because it has sex in it, apparently. So get excited. And I'll read out who the parts are going to be, even if they're not here. I'm going to be narrating this one. King Sombra is going to be played by Enigma. Enigma, are you ready to be King Sombra?
Crystals.
Okay, he's ready. The Hulk is going to be played by Rav when he gets back. And other potential parts and noises, I don't know how many there are going to be played by Flam, which means that Milk and Priest can take a break. Milk, did you hear that? Or, you're back from urinating. Yay. Yay. Excited. Woo. Also, if Rav has food, I'm realizing that means he's going to be eating while he's trying to do his part.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, Rav, please don't have your mouth full when you have to read, okay? This is important. Please don't eat while you read. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. It's gross.
Mm.
Thank you. Like, we'll be done in 40 minutes. Like, come on, kids. Grow up. We can have drinks. Get drinks. Now, who's back? Okay, roll call.
I'm back.
Roll call. Enigma, are you here? What was that, Enigma?
I think I'm here.
Flam, are you here?
Yee.
Priest, are you here?
Yes.
Milk, are you here?
No.
Rav, are you here?
I think so.
Excellent, then we can start this fucking story! Woo! We're gonna read. Everyone have their story open?
Yep.
We're gonna have Sombra and the Hulk have a baby. And it's written by TheGreatEater, appropriately. Alright, let me read the intro to this. I wonder how many downvotes I got from the concept alone. After all, I haven't gotten many comments on the fic itself. For those of you who don't look past the description for voting, link to the part of the comment section. To those who've read this fic and still downvote, a constructive criticism would be nice. Also, check the link to follow Miles Power's 6 blogs to get the inside joke this fic is about. I'm just going to tell you right now, never post anything like that on a fic. It just lends itself to us tearing this fic apart. Follow Sombra as he and his nation come back from the Shadow Realm after losing a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Strip Poker to the Royal Princess. Yeah, you read that right, kids. Upon his eventual defeat, he faces the Hulk, who's trying to screw the universe. Things ensue after that in ways that will boggle the mind, leading to the birth of the world's greatest hero murderer killing machine. This fic was inspired by Miles Power 06. You'll find out why at the end of the fic. Also, Demni is a race of demon pony that live in Tartarus and invade Equestria from time to time, inspired by Earth demon ponies, most notably Bucephalus. Well, enjoy every pony. I hope you all like this fic as much as I did, having it stuck in my head until I had to share it with the world. Art by myself. Additional tags: Sif Clop, Neb, Can't Be Unseen, Discord Porn, Mentally Scarring, and Written Dead Tired or Written Sleep Deprived. Side note, this fic has no editors or pre-readers. Anyone want to crack at it, have a go. Everyone ready?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here we fucking go. Sombra sat swirling in the murky darkness of the Shadow Realm. Ever since those two sisters cheated on that game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Strip Poker Edition with their kingdoms as collateral, but now he waited, biding his time, I think actually it's bidding his time, okay, until he was able to free, to be reunited with his crystal addiction and the love of his life, the Crystal Heart. There were so many things to love about that thing. The fact was, it was a crystal. It was the biggest selling point. The heart, being a universal symbol of love, made it literally the only thing that loved him. The fact that shiny, as he called it, just got him. Regardless of whatever he thought, it felt like a male or female at any given moment. Sometimes he would lay in his tower keep, snuggled up to Shiny, giving it kisses and nudgy wudgies. Other times he'd make love to it.
What?
Making love to the Crystal Heart. Knowing it, unlike those non-understanding fools who didn't understand his flexible view of his sexual identity. Just because he thought that, just because he thought that, like Crystal, he was any and all genders at any moment, and when not tripping on crystal form of various drugs, he forced his crystal ponies to create or snorting salts crystals off a kitten's belly while letting it nibble cheeseburgers imported from the Griffin Empire.
I'm sorry, what?
I had a stroke reading that. I really did. I'm sorry.
Call a bondulance.
Yeah, like, I don't know what's fucking going on here.
My God.
Yeah. It was during these long trips down memory lane when a bright, almost blinding light ripped above him, and he knew that his time had finally come.
Finally, I will get back at those princesses from cheating at strip poker, and then I finally expand my empire to cover ever crystal on the planet. I mean, all of Equestria. Then I can get the planet's crystals in my pants and make sweet love to them, or eat them, possibly both. God, I have a squirrel massage my genitals. Oh, I forgot how delicious crystals were. Then I'll find my dragon mother and Bucephalus.
Bucephalus.
I'm sorry, what?
Bucephalus.
Gesundheit. Bucephalus. If he has
Bucephalus.
bronchitis. If he hasn't been placed back in Tartarus, and Dick Smack and a sign of thanks for teaching me how great it is to be a demon dragon pony. Or whatever a mix of demi and dragon is called. But first, onwards is the glorious battle.
Later that the interlopers who allied themselves with Celestia and Luna had not only infiltrated Sombra's home, but had the audacity to prevent him from getting the crystals. Even his semi-crystal-y ponies were kept from his loving embrace or his belly. Sombra had yet to decide how many more he should munch on for not fighting off the invaders. After all, Degoni? Demragacorn? Don the Marching Crystal Dick?
I should really stop overthinking what a demonicity dragon bastard biology should be called, and be thankful that the shield is weakening.
Thought to himself whimsically, this is so wordy. This is a great example of what not to do when you're trying to write. Like, this is so wordy. Being locked inside the Shadow Realm for 1,666 years had a rather unpleasant effect on his sanity, as one can probably tell by this part of the fic, but enough of who may or whom may had not had been thinking of that very moment of his sexy crystal codpiece that was definitely going to be something when he got his shiny back. Although you might want to picture this. Take a heart, especially a crystal one. Now using tape, crystal colored if you can, place a nice little X on it. Let that image sink in. And now you cannot unsee it. I have no idea what I'm seeing. Like, I don't know what you described. As well as how he spends his sexy special time with his shiny when he's feeling like a stallion sometimes. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, the blue-maned unicorn whom the pink one called Shiny. Although, in Sombra's opinion, he looked nothing like Shiny. He was neither crystal, nor did his plot look anything like Shiny's. This, of course, meant that the interloper needed to prove his worth by having that name. So when him and 6 mares and an adorable dragon, whom he could possibly see as adopting as brother and sharing crystals, feeling bad ponies too, teaching him proper demi and dragon etiquette that he was apparently being raised by ponies. Still no idea what I just read. Seeing as how they weren't carried on giant trays, wrapped in chains, or pleasuring him while dressed as in bondage gear, it was despicable that a dragon could be brought down to their level.
A mistake I shall soon rectify after I save my shiny from this imposter and his candy-flanked wife. Seriously, that crystal looked good enough to eat.
He showed himself in mist form, being the Demni official greeting for a challenge to one's mate sexually as a mating ritual, and also as a form of transportation when one didn't feel like walking, since walking was for pedestrians, not one such as he. Sombra neared his shiny. He showered him with his jizz, watching his seed dribble onto the white one's horn. But alas, he was not anywhere. I'm sorry, it's like, hold on. Did he just come on Shining Armor?
Mm-hmm. It seems that way.
Jesus Christ. But alas, he was not anywhere near as worthy of holding that name, as his mist form caressed the shivering, prematurely... I'm not reading that word, I know what it says, and I want someone else to actually say that word out loud. Because I know what it's going to sound like.
Magaculating?
Magaculating?
Majaculating.
Majaculating. Okay.
Yeah, like ejaculating, but with magic. Fucking sakes.
Jesus
Majac-
Christ.
Yeah,
I just
ejaculating.
Oh
That's
my
why I
God.
was like, Jesus Christ. Someone else has to say. Yeah, ejaculating.
You could have just said like horngasm or something, like what retards have done in the past.
Nope. Now they have majaculating. That's something we have. That's something that exists now.
I'll be ejaculating
I'm gonna be
later.
really honest. Lila probably does that a lot.
No, we're not. We're done. We're moving on. His
That's a
light.
new
No,
Lila
God.
sister.
The next sentence isn't any better. His light penis attack from his horn not being anywhere near as potent as the blasts the real Shiny could do, Sombra tried calming the excited but flailing young buck by whispering.
Shiny. Oh, Shiny. Who's the good crystal?
Who's the white one? Sombra retired of this foreplay, and with a page from both the Dragon and Demi's handbook, jizzed all over the white one's horn.
Again?
His magnificent black jizz marked his new territory, and since he failed to live up to the name of Shiny, gave him a head start while he pondered how best to cook him and feed him to the pink one and his soon-to-be brother.
I have no idea what's going on here.
This is such a confusing story. It is okay, but
It's literally all paragraphs. What the fuck?
It gets to be dialogue, I promise you. But it's not. You'll see. Sombra was excited, though, not just for the chase, but seeing that his jizz served a different purpose than intended. It prevented the pink one. Cadence, he vaguely remembered her being called. Or was it Katie? No, it was definitely Candy. Candy, the candy-butted princess. He knew that ponies in Equestria had a thing for naming their children after the obviousness of what they would someday be, or their parents hoped they would be, but still he wasn't going to complain over their naming their daughter after her candy ass. If he squinted just right, it almost looked like Shiny was tattooed there. It was almost enough to make him think of taking her to the Shiny's concubine and his mistress, if Shiny didn't mind sharing with him. Then, just as he was starting to think he'd never get the chance, the shield broke just a little bit. Yet, just as he almost got in, it went back up, cutting off his horn.
Ow. That hurt. Really? Who cuts a horn? That's just bad form, Miss Candy Butt. But I shall grow a new one, and Horny McHornison shall grow from the inside, spreading my power until I shall take back what's mine. I have seizures reading this.
I understand. It's difficult. And wait he did. Sombra waited and waited, feeling his horny magic spread across the land. Slowly, like his mother's attempts at cooking before something other than tourist, or his uncles on both sides of the family, or his sister and her pets. What is that sentence? He didn't like much anyway, but being served her really did a number on him. It was a pity that therapists weren't invited until over 1,000 years after the banishment. At this point in his life, he would have really used a good hug on a mountain of bourbon, whichever one became handy. After hours that seemed to pass like seconds, it finally happened. The shield was down, and seeing where the love of his life, his tasty slaves, and all of his crystal stash was orgasmed, hard yelling.
Ugh, crystals.
He entered and looked upon his crystal slaves, salivating as he greeted them, seeing a few try to run from his glorious gaze as he judged which ones he'd feast upon like dear Uncle Tenderclaw. He sensed someone trying to steal Shiny, and when he activated to Cage of Tasty Doom, what did he see? His soon-to-be brother running off with his stallion mare.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Oh, God. I hate everything about you saying that. Oh, God. Sombra thought with angry sass. I think this is your line.
Before I can adopt him, he must be punished for trying to take my love. I think he shall be tormented by the evilest thing in all existence, even more evil than Tyrek Discord, the princesses, the color pink, and the flavor of black licorice combined. Mimes! Mimes in mime suit-themed ballerina tutus. Yes, while overly cruel, it shall teach him not to do such a thing again, I think.
Sombra let loose a shudder as he sunk to the earth and as he rode to save his one true love. Even as evil as he was claimed to be, even he knew that punishment was overly cruel, even if it was necessary. But just as he flew to the rescue, Candy Butt grabbed Shiny and with the power of his slaves, blasted him with Shiny's light penis. The resulting explosion didn't kill him, but blew him clear into the multiverse, where he traveled aimlessly until the source of nuclear power rage addict shone out to him like a beacon. Take a breath, everyone. It's about to happen.
Have they?
Oh no.
Have they read this before? Like, did they read this?
I don't think so. Also, Priest, I can hear your taka taka.
Taka.
All right. Here we go. The Hulk, Bruce Banner, the unkillable rage machine with nuclear cum, whatever name you call him, is an icon across most of the known multiverse. Even visitors from the future know of him and his incarnations, such as the Saddle Ranger and a Rule 63 Hulk, whom the male version was pissed looked hotter than he did and popped the visitor's head like a grape. Although he did find the yellow pony to be quite undeniably adorable, if it wasn't for his love, Kyra, he would find a portal to that universe and make sweet love to that pony. Either that or he would be her bestie. But he had more important matters in mind. Thing one, put aside fucking his rage wife until she squirted cum out her nose like he did that one time she cursed him for his decades at old case of blue balls. Thing two, reach transcendental bliss, become one with the universe, then fuck the universe until it has babies so that he could create a Hulk force just like Flash had his Speed Force. Everyone following along? Everyone know what's going on?
I do, actually.
Okay. So he mediated and had just reached a connection with the universe. Surrounded by a pure white light, he was distracted as a black-fanged, red-horned pony crashed into him, dragging them both into Sakaar. The raw rage of the Hulk and its huge rippling muscles was enough to make a mare out of Sombra and instantly drive him into heat because that's just how badass motherfucker the Hulk is. In a fit of blind rage, the Hulk yelled,
Hulk! Smash.
Oh
"I'm
god.
to rage fuck the shit out of Sombra." Unfortunately for both of them, this serendipitous rendezvous was to be short-lived. Between her demon hole and her sensitive murder dick, fate had something special in store for many timelines. Okay. So it was here that she felt her slick, demony dragon mare juices almost not enough to lube up the mountain-crushing, joint-popping, jank-rending banging she was receiving. It was on for 5 solid minutes, his rage grunts and yells of smashing, and her screaming sex-induced gibberish. You see, this is where you do sound effects, Flame.
Oh god.
Thanks, Flame. Just as the blasphemous thought that not even Shiny could get Sombra to come so hard, even with his crystal codpiece, the Hulk came inside her. Flame. Thank you, Flame. Filling her womb with nuclear murder sauce.
Oh, excuse me, what?
Filling her womb with his nuclear murder sauce. The Hulk came with such destructive power that Sombra was jettisoned into outer space, screaming in ecstasy as she flew into a wormhole, passing by a black hole that was tied to a negaversal rift in the space-time continuum that Thanatos used to send alien hordes into various realities when he was bored, that crossed streams with Discord's trans-universal hotel for chaotic gods, sending her into the future 2510 AD! Go ahead, Flem. Thank you. Of course, the Hulk didn't know any of this. All he knew is that he once again failed in his quest to leave behind a dick-shaped mark in the universe, and, as a side, thought he cheated on his wife with a pony that he could have sworn was a man before he got a rage boner.
Oops. Look like Hulk sleeping on couch tonight.
Hulk mumbled as he smelled the stingy smell of his seed and the awkward scent of some weird pony thing that he'd just screwed into oblivion. Little did he know, in a few short minutes, his city would be exploded from Sombra's Demny Dragon orgasm, causing the shuttle's self-detonation destruction sequence to activate, giving him Sombra's version of a living gift that keeps on giving. Mind-fucked insanity, misery, and a lifetime of needed therapy for all survivors. We can do this, guys. 2 more paragraphs. Sombra knew that she was boned when she saw the lack of tasty slaves to munch upon, and the murder sticks and the backwater hairless apes carried around, but not knowing what sick, sadistic, crazed world she landed on, that didn't even have the decency of having intelligent ponies to talk to. She needed to find someone to mind rape into raising her demon spawn in this mad world. It would be dangerous and make her sad, but she had to make sure her child grew old enough. Old enough that when it was needed, her spawn would use the evil rage and rage flowing through its veins to destroy an entire civilization. Maybe a few. Then, once they were under hoof or paw or whatever those weird things that Green Sex Machine had, that child would eat them just like Nana the Jabberwocky. I'm out of drink, and I wish I wasn't. Eventually, she found some apes that were easily susceptible to her magic, and although Guile, Charm, and through Guile, Charm, and tons of liquor, convinced them that they let her hold their child in her womb to keep it safe for the winter or whatever madness they called their seasons. Seriously, who doesn't have ponies to control the weather until they prove tasty or disloyal to Sombra's majestic reign? Well, most of them. Same as the unicorns.
Seriously, when I find out how they do this madness of moving celestial bodies, controlling the weather, doing all these things without unicorn or Pegasi, I shall rule Equestria. Then I shall summon my demon child to rule with me for all eternity. But I have little time for after this birth. I shall go back to my planet to build an empire for my bouncing baby ball of evil goodness.
Flam, read the author's note.
It's 3 a.m. What gave birth to this fic was this blog. Ever since then, I've watched it numerous times as well as the alternate version. But it was the first one, seeing Master walk out in a drunken green rage yelling, X block! Like Sombra was going on about crystals, and I couldn't get it out of my head that he's the unholy offspring of Sombra and the Hulk. And we all know that the Hulk would be the man in any relationship. There's no one who could top him. I think even Maxima from the Girl Power comic couldn't be able to top with the Hulk. So yeah, it just grew from there, prevented me from going to sleep, so I decided to give into my muse and share this with everyone. Also, I said before there was no pre-reader for this, and I apologize for any errors. I did at least run it through a spell check, though, so that's one less problem XD. 3:40 a.m. edit. I have nothing against the Hulk. He's my favorite rageaholic superhero, and Master Chief is pretty cool, though nowhere near as awesome as the cast of Red vs. Blue. Okay, kid, but still pretty cool.
Does anyone want to make angry noises that we had to read this with me?
What, you guys didn't follow the storyline perfectly?
No, it's not. That's the correct noise, thank you.